educator and educational technologist, passionate about making learning engaging through chemistry, game-based learning, and innovative use of technology. She completed her postdoctoral research at IIT Gandhinagar on holistic reimagining of engineering education. She is the creator of the award-winning podcast Chemistry and the author of Once Upon an Online Time, an ebook blending fairy tales with cybersecurity. She currently leads the e-learning program at MIT ADDIE University Pune and mentors UNESCO's OER4BW project. With prior roles at NCERT, SNDT University, and NPTEL Swayam, she is a sought-after resource person on online pedagogy and social media in education. Her research interests focus on online and open education, with her PhD exploring the role of social media in learning. So we invite you, ma'am, for taking this one of the very important sessions that is on instructional design. So thank you for coming and over to you.
Thank you, Nidhi, and good morning, everyone. So hopefully all the admin issues are settled, and even if they are not settled, the CIT team will take care of everything. I have been listening for the past 25 minutes about whatever concerns are being raised. So out of that, the very first concern, what I would request everyone is to remember that we are teachers, and so there has to be a lot of calmness. Why is everyone in this urgency is something that I don't really understand. Because the moment you get into the mode of urgency, you're going to miss out lots of things. And missing out on lots of things are actually creating a lot of these type of problems. That I missed my link of attendance, that I did not get a proper I just changed my code and whatever. And what is happening because of this sense of urgency? Believe me, this is a false sense of urgency. And why do I need to say this? Is because this is the basis for the session that we are going to do today on instructional design. Yes, the session will be in Hindi and English. Do not worry about that. It is a mandate by the ministry and the mandate by the NCERT. So this is what exactly I'm trying to say. कि अगर आप थोड़ा सा ना अपने आप को काम डाउन करेंगे तो यू विल रियलाइज दैट थिंग्स विल हैपन. लेकिन उसके लिए पहले 2 मिनट 5 मिनट just calm down your nerves. Like immediately the thing is coming that the session should be in Hindi and English both. Of course, it is a mandate, so it will come. But if we can see here that there are people from the northeast, there are people from south, there are people from lots of other states, so the initiation hone to dijiye, let it happen, let it get into the groove, and then things will happen. Just calm down, all of you. Early morning cortisol, why do you need that, right? Now see again, now there is this reply English only, ma'am. Someone says English and Hindi. We will be bilingual in approach. It will be in Hindi and English both. This is as per the instructions coming from the Ministry of Education. In the times of decolonizing education, we cannot depend only on English. Please give importance to regional languages as well. And that is why given the diversity of the country, it is always said that yes, we will be talking in 2 major languages. I'm not saying that the other languages are not regional. Now, why do I say all this before we start this session? Is because first of all, I really want everyone to take deep breaths. 4 4 4, right? Breathe in for the 4, count till 4, hold your breath for 4, and then exhale for 4. And we are going to do this. I had never planned this to take in any session. Believe me, this is the first time I'm doing this. Simply because if these things are happening for the last 25 minutes, it only tells us that the cortisol is too high. And if the cortisol is too high, you're always going to be in the fight or flight mode, or you're going to freeze. I don't want any of it to happen. So come on, now I'm going to count and you're going to do box breathing. Okay, up till the count of 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. No mobile phones, please. You're not going to see into any other device. Multitasking is a myth. No one can multitask. Your brain is constantly switching from here to there. You're reducing your efficiency. स्क्रीन ऑफ कर देने से आप मोबाइल पे जो काम कर रहे हैं वो हमको तो फिर भी दिख ही जाएगा. So the person to whom I was actually talking to, please do not force me to, yeah, and I can see so many people doing the deep breathing exercise. This is really good. Yes, exhale. You're going to repeat it thrice, do the box breathing, and only then begin. Those who want to exhale with mouth, yes, you can. It should be like continuously just exhale for a count of 4 and see how calm you will immediately become. Once and for the last time, deep breath, hold it for 4, and then we will all exhale together. Okay. I guess we can now open our eyes and we can feel that we are better, in a better position and calm. I can see Deepa Jain and Rashmi Rai giving a very nice smile along with Hijam Radha. Thank you so much for those lovely smiles. You just make my day there. And even Masula Saikiran sir and Ramesh sir. Yes. And with this, we are going to begin. And why should everyone, only the kids have fun? So there will be some exercises that we will be, again, I can see English only, ma'am. I don't know. I am talking in English only just now. And still people are saying English only, ma'am. So now which English is this going to be? Possibly this happens because you did not see and did not listen to what we are doing. And you only saw the last message that was there who had put something English only, ma'am. So you just wanted to repeat it. Please do not behave like kids. Kids also don't behave like this. Please let us all be graceful enough to be the profession that we are in. Okay. And like very rightly pointed out by so many of you, that there is unnecessary messages in the chat, which actually, bury the important messages. So like I have said, the session will be bilingual enough for everyone to understand. Thanks to Bollywood and the TV, we all know that much of Hindi. And thanks to all the OTT channels, everyone knows that much of English. So, we'll go ahead now and we'll start sharing the session there. And I'm sharing my slides, and I hope the slides are visible, which I'm sure they are. So only 1 or 2 people just can put a thumbs up to just say that, yeah, the slides are visible. No need to put in the chat. Only emojis, please. Yeah, I got the message. That's fine. Please don't overcrowd. That is also called as overwhelm. So when we talk in the terms of instructional design and in terms of e-learning, we actually talk about all of this. Just a minute. Okay, so let us go ahead and we are going to start the session with a game. Okay. Yes, we always start. I mean, I always have this habit of having it like a game-based thing. So what we are going to do is we are going to have an emoji poll, and you are going to create emojis. Either you use a paper pen, or what else you can do is you can actually use your phone to determine the particular emoji. Do not paste it anywhere. Okay? Do not flood any group. Do not put in the chat. It is only for you. So as you can see, there are two columns here. यहाँ दो columns हैं, एक teaching emoji, दूसरा learning emoji. So there will be certain words that will come up one after the other. That emoji should tell you कि if you are a teacher, what is the emotion that you experience, and if you were a student, what is the emotion that you experience. Okay, emoji इसलिए because it is just easy, it takes less time. अगर आपको ड्रॉ करने की इच्छा है, आप आपके पेन पेपर पे ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं, बट यहाँ पर कुछ नहीं करना है. नो चैट मैसेजेस, ना यहाँ पर ना आपके व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में. ओके, this is just to bring out what different emotions come to you if you are a teacher and then immediately a learner. See, it also becomes difficult because आप actual में teacher हैं, लेकिन इस particular program के लिए आप learner हैं. So this is also happening, and because of which the initial 25 minutes and last, I mean the previous day, that is yesterday, जो भी admin issues हो रहे हैं, because we still like teachers, हम जब बोलेंगे जो भी बोलेंगे वैसा होगा. But when we switch on into our learner hat, तो वैसा नहीं होता. We have to follow certain rules. So just keeping that in mind, let us see what are the different emotions which will be depicted by an emoji. I'll give you like 1 minute for each emoji or each particular sentence जो screen पे आएगा, and then you have to just write. अच्छा, किसी के पास अगर मोबाइल फोन नहीं है या ड्रॉ नहीं करना, you may write the emotion, but it should stay with you only. No messages in the chat. ठीक है? So the first time when you hear about this word homework, so as a teacher, what does it tell you? So first three emojis. For as a teacher, what does it tell you? And as a learner, what does it tell you? For example, as a teacher, you may think that homework is compulsory, it is important, it is for practice. But for a learner, one might think, oh, it is an extra burden, you are taking away my play time, so I don't like it. So just see the difference, okay? And that is how you will write, or you will draw, or you will just see where the emoji is and make a note of it in your smartphone में. आप notepad open कर लो, वहाँ पे you can put the emoji, no problem. So what are the emotions that you face when you hear the word homework if you are a teacher? And what are the three emotions that come to you as a learner? Okay, done. So here we go for the second one. Surprise test. As a teacher, आपके कुछ opinions होंगे, आपको कुछ तो लगता होगा कि surprise test क्यों चाहिए. But as a learner, क्या लगेगा? Okay. Again, I can see some messages coming in. I have already said no messages in the chat. Please do not put messages in the chat. That means you're not listening to the instructions given for a session on instructional design. Wow, where does that make you stand? अगर आप instructions ही follow नहीं कर रहे हैं, session instructional design का है, तो पता नहीं अभी आपको शायद से वो 3 टाइम वाला बॉक्स ब्रीदिंग नहीं 10 टाइम वाला बॉक्स ब्रीदिंग करना पड़ेगा. Okay, yeah, just go on deep breathing, you'll reach there very soon. The third word is picnic. What does a teacher feel when the teachers take a picnic? Just draw it or write it out in the paper pen or the notepad that you have with you. And what do the learners feel about picnic? As a teacher, do you feel that a picnic is a hassle? बाप रे कितने बच्चों का ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. Too much to look about. But as a student, you might be like, wow, picnic. So I don't have to, like, be bothered. Here comes the next word. This is the second last. Projects. What do the teachers feel about the projects? And what do the learners feel about projects? Okay. And now we come to the last one. School assembly. Something that happens right in the morning. What sort of emotion does it give you? Okay. Now tell me, using only the emojis. Okay. Really? I think we should have more of breathing exercises for the team. I mean, for this. No one is going to put any message in the chat box as an answer for these things. Okay. So now just tell me with an emoji, were the emotions in both the columns same or different? If they were same, put a thumbs up. If they were not same, put a down thumb. Like this. You have it in your emoji there. Do we have anyone who says that the, okay, so Sir Ramesh sir is saying no. Yes, so you can put using an emoji here as well. Okay, so here we see not same, not same, not same. Yes, exactly. It wouldn't be same. Why will it be same? Simply because that tells us that teaching and learning are two completely different things. Completely different. So I might come here, I might give you lot of classes, I might teach you something, and still you will go back not learning anything. That is possible. That is possible. Okay. And that is why, yeah, thank you for all the comments that are coming in. I think we have reached the place where enough of comments are there so that we can move ahead. Now, this also tells us that if teaching and learning are two different things, can you learn without being taught? Can you learn something without being taught? There is no one to teach you anything, but can you still learn? If it is yes, then an emoji. Okay. The chat is now flooded. Okay, so you mean to say that you will not learn anything if it's not being taught? Yes. Okay. So now you are getting the answers. Yes, you can learn even if you don't teach. Correct? Examples. No one taught you how to use the mobile phone. No one, right? But you started using it. There was no assignment that how to use your mobile phone. No one took a 5 marks quiz how to use your mobile phone. And still, we all learn it. No one taught us how to use a fountain pen. There was no particular thing like that, right? Similarly, we need to understand that teaching and learning are two different things. But then when can you learn better if you're not being taught? Now just see this. This is something very simple. It is just a screenshot of a device. It is actually a digital clock, which is very commonly found. And I have just taken a small screenshot. What does this image tell you? Just have a watch. If I give you this particular digital watch now, what all things can you do with this? I will allow 3 people to unmute and say what they can do if I give you this particular thing from a manual. So anyone who wants to share can raise their hands. The first 3 hands, we will take them up. If I don't actually teach you, I'm not going to sit beside you to teach you how to use this digital clock. But this is there in front of you. And if this is the digital clock, what can you do? How can you operate? What all things you will be able to do in this digital clock? Okay, my God, 11, so many, 10 messages. Okay. Yes. Can you set the week display? Do you know what? Okay, so many messages again. Yeah, we can learn is fine, but what did you learn? What will you be? Yeah, CBSC Pitala. I'm very sorry if I am not correct in pronouncing your name. Pitala Kirti, and then we go to Revati. Yeah, Pitala Kirti, CBSC Pitala Kirti. You can Saujanya. Yeah, you can unmute yourself. Okay, I need to ask you to unmute. Okay, Revati ji, and then Krishna
Yeah,
Chaitanya later. Yeah,
good morning, ma'am.
good morning.
By seeing just the manual, we can see some buttons with the settings given. It's like we can try upon how to on off the display or power off. Seeing the manual, whatever instructions are there, we can try few buttons and try to operate how it reacts.
If you are
If we
here, what will you do the first thing? I mean, what all things out of this can you actually operate? What can you start the clock with? क्या start कर सकता है? बताइए.
I'll first power on that, switch on the thing
And what settings will you
on
be able to do?
or and settings like power on, power off,
Hmm?
and not many because all of them are like dicey instructions. Like it is giving for on also, off also, and auto state display. Like one of them, whichever is applicable for us. Like
Okay.
it can be different for different people. I want to set it
Okay.
as on
So
or off.
let us wait and let us see what Revati has to say. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Yes.
Ma'am, first of all, I power on that clock, digital clock, and I will set my alarm when I have to do my daily activities.
Okay.
Then I will switch on to that day, and that is weekend. So I will off that weekend programs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, Revati, wait. Now let us go to Krishna Chaitanya. Krishna Chaitanya has raised his hand, but he is very busy with something else. So let's go to Javed. Javed Iqbalji, yeah, I have unmuted you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, with this watch, I will go to search for the timer, ma'am.
Okay.
I will search the timer and I will do something by putting the timer.
Okay, okay. So we are taking the last one, Podila Anuradha, and then we will go ahead. Yes. Did I unmute you? Where are you? Okay.
Yeah, madam.
Yeah, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes. Good morning.
So first thing is, as I have seen this, how technology can be integrated. That is the first thing which I understood, ma'am. And also it is the fitness tracking, and it is also teaches us the value of the convenience and the modern timekeeping, and also it
Okay,
tracks
okay,
the
okay. Wait,
health.
wait, wait. I will stop you here because
Okay.
you're going, yeah, thank you. You're going too much into, like how it will help us and all that. This is very nice. I will do the time and setting first, says Migom Pegu, and then Neelam says that we'll set today's date and time. And then Nivedita says that we will be setting up the reminders so that we can, peruse them whenever it is required. Yes, and this is exactly what we are talking about. Each one of you could see different things. Each one of you had a different first step, but each one of you had the very clear idea that this is a digital clock and this is going to help us to manage our time. So the first thing, on, off, and there are 7 days ka display, and it is a 24-hour display, and how to set the week, how to set the day, how to set the sequence, and then how to set your reminders. But did I take your exam? No, I did not. Was I sitting beside you? No, I was not. Then what helped you? The very first person actually said this, that the instructions are there to follow. And the instructions, some of you felt that the instructions are not very clear. But then possibly we need to actually look at it very clearly, because the on and the off is not completely always the same. If you look very closely, the button of on is separate, the button of off is separate, and which will be enabling us. So again, like I said, we need to be aware of what we are seeing, observe, and then go ahead. But the most important thing here is, yes, I didn't see 1 minute. The most important thing here is no one is teaching you, and still you are learning, simply because there is a very clear instructional design. And now, where did Sai Kiranji disappear? Sai Kiranji, please raise your hand, because then only I will be able to unmute you. There are 400 people here. I can't possibly search for you. Yes, I have asked you to unmute. Please unmute and talk. Yes.
Yeah, actually, you are talking about on and off now, madam.
Yes.
So stopwatch, it is a digital watch continuously. It is a continuous process now. If you will keep any reminder, or if you plan a day or any week, it is a continuous running machine. No,
Yes.
so if you will off, then that all things will be uh, disappears. No,
Okay.
it is a
Really?
continuous process.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
No, 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 no.
No,
Wait,
no, no,
wait.
no.
Wait, wait,
Everyone.
wait. No,
Yeah.
no, no. Wait. Do you have do you set reminders in your mobile phone?
Ma'am?
Do you set reminders in your mobile phone? Do you set
Yes.
alarms in your mobile phone? Have you
Yes,
ever
yes.
tried that you will switch off the mobile phone at night?
Okay.
And then
Thank you.
does
Thank
the
you.
alarm
Yes,
still work?
yes,
So then does your question
yes,
remain
yes,
valid anymore? Yeah,
yes,
so
yes. No,
exactly
no,
my
no. Yes,
point.
yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now that smile and that
Thank you.
laughter says a lot, right? Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. So that just, awakens everyone. कि अच्छा ऐसा भी कुछ होता है क्या? हाँ, हमने तो ये किया है. ये क्या बोल रहे हैं? Kind of, yeah. So then coming to what is actually instructional design as per the theory and as per the, excuse me, as per the definitions that are accepted all over the world. So the first thing is the difference between the teaching and instruction, because we say that we teach so that students will learn better, but can we be 100% sure that the 60 students in my class, each one will have attained the outcome that is desired? Is that possible when we teach? All of you are saying like, no. Exactly. But here, 400 people in the, 400 and something people in the session. And when I showed you that manual, and suppose if it was in reality, would you have been able to start the manual and set it? Set that clock? Yes, because there is explicit guidance to help people to learn better and to develop. So it is giving instructions to the students or to the learners in a way where वो खुद अच्छे से सीख लेंगे, उनको समझ आ जाएगा, they will know what has to be the next step, and because of that, all 400 of you would have been able to set the clock like we all do it when we purchase a new phone, right? So this is the difference between teaching and instruction. Instruction is outcome based. Teaching may not be outcome based, and that is why we have so many gaps in the teaching learning that normally happens. And therefore this session by CIT and NCERT, because we are all talking of outcome based learning, and all the apps and all the handbooks are out. This is design oriented. That means we have to understand what is it that we want the students to do. That has to be very clearly written. Whereas teaching is normally description oriented. So like when Podila Anuradha ma'am started saying that, oh, this will happen, it will help us to, you know, help us to eliminate extra work, and it will help us to manage our time well. Hey, well, then I told her, wait, take a deep breath. Why itna sara description? Is that my objective of giving you the manual and the digital clock? No, my simple thing is you should be able to use it. How you use it is up to you. So my focus or my outcome is each one of you should be able to switch on, switch off, set the calendar, set the time, set the alarm. Now, whether you set it at 5 o'clock to wake up and do exercise, or you set it up at 6 o'clock, or you set it up at night 11 like me, where my phone goes off. Okay, automatically the phone will get switched off. So if that is the outcome, how I use it, that is up to me. So instruction design is design oriented. So it is very targeted, it is very focused. There are no frills, no extra words. So if you would have seen that manual also, it is just pointing to with the arrow, this is how it looks like, this is what you have to do, this is the step. Okay, it is not description oriented. And to attain this, we will need to have methods. So if my objective is that you should be able to switch on and switch off. Okay, what if मेरा बैटरी खत्म हो गया तो मेरे हाथ को कुछ लग गया है, so there is a bandage on my finger, I cannot switch on and switch off. These are the things that I will have to think of. But coming, like applying that to the teaching, if my objective is that my student should be able to do 5 3s are 15, if this is the objective, this is as simple as this could get. 5 3s are 15. Now, where they will apply, whether they will apply it in the shop or whether they will build a new abacus based on it, that's a different thing. So I don't want to get into the description of it, where they will use it. My outcome is completely very much focused, very much pointed like a dart. They should know 5 3s are 15. Ulta karke 5 3s are 15, 3 5s are 15. Everything they should know. Okay, and at the quickest way. So now I need to understand the methods that will make me enable my students to learn that 5 3s are 15 hai, 3 5s are 15 hai. The whole concept of multiplication. Then only I will identify the methods that are usable. So for some, I will be like good enough, those with abstract thinking, they can actually think about 5 3s are, so they can imagine the packets of 5 written 3 times or kept 3 times, and then that becomes 15 by actual counting. For others who do not have that much of abstract thinking, I might literally have to give them something tangible to be able to understand, and then only I can get them to rote learn. There will be certain still more people who might need something else, like they might need some students or some human beings to understand how it works, making them into packets and making them stand here, stand there. They'll have more of spatial intelligence. And so my methods will be different. And how they're going to use that 5 3s are 15 in their daily lives and all that, that becomes immaterial, because that is frill for my instruction. My instruction is very pointed. My students should know 5 3s are 15. Ulta sulta kaise bhi. Okay. So my methods now will become specific to pedagogy, to instructional design, and not. So this is again one more objection that I always have when I see teacher training modules. Come on, if we are doing our maths ka project, it has to talk of maths and not of craft. So instructional design will accept that the project book, the scrap book doesn't look beautiful. If I have told my students to write a poetry for English, the originality of it is what is more important, rather than putting stickers here and there. That's not my outcome, right? I don't want to see whether my students can apply relevant stickers here and there. So why are we focusing on that? So this is how the instructional design actually makes it very, very focused And how we can do that is we will have to break it down into minute chunks. So first there is multiplication. So then I will think that, okay, if even if I have to give 5 3s are 15 as a tangible product, do my students actually know how to do addition? Because I'm going to ask them to like put 3 packets of 5 each and then count each one of them. So here I'm telling them put 5 packets, each having 3 things. So even this is a long one. So what I will say, pick up 3 pencils or 3 chalks, place them together. Okay, so 3 उठाया, 3 बाजू में रखा. Do this 5 times. So then they are doing it like 5 times. And then now count each one, count all of it. Write the total. So now they say that, okay, 5 3s are 15. So that's done. So it's broken down into minute chunks, very, very small steps. And now there is no confusion. Because if you remember the first game that we played, learner emoji and teacher emoji, I was giving you one at a time and I gave you the instructions like you have to think like a teacher first, then you have to think like a student when you are thinking about this word. So your mind becomes focused and the outcome is achieved. Because the moment I asked you that do you have the emojis same in both of the columns, there was a flood saying no, right? So I was very sure that I will get this answer. Why? Because the activity was designed that way and I knew that it would be given in chunks. So this is how the instruction helped me to attain the outcome that was expected in the first slide. This is very probabilistic. Now, what do we mean by probabilistic? It is not deterministic, okay? Teaching becomes deterministic, but instructional design is probabilistic. When we say it becomes deterministic, matlab sabko ye aana hi chahiye. 5 3s are 15, sabko isi tarike se aana chahiye. Nahi aayega, then you are a dumb student. Nowadays, no one says dumb student, thankfully, but still, it is deterministic. If you don't know this, you know, those typical lines that we all have heard as students, or you should be sent back to grade 1 or grade 2 or whatever, right? That determines that whether you are capable to do something or the other. Whereas probabilistic is where you realize that you may be able to do this exercise, but there is a chance that you may fail at doing this exercise. And then if you're not able to do this, what is the next step that I can give you as an instruction? Okay, means अगर हो सकता है कि ये सब करने के बाद में आप शायद वो इंस्ट्रक्शन फॉलो नहीं कर पा रहे, आप वो नहीं कर सक रहे, तो will I label you something? No, because I am already understanding that this is probabilistic. I always will have it in my mind that okay, ये शायद काम नहीं करेगा, तो मेरे पास दूसरी बहुत सारी चीजें होनी चाहिए उसी टाइम पे देने के लिए. Okay, it cannot be like our normal teaching where we switch on one method, nahi chala dusra method nahi chala तीसरा method. No, you cannot do that, simply because by the time the first method is working for, let us say in a class, in a group of 10 people, if one particular method is working for, let us say 6 people, you realize that it's not working for 4 and you give the next method. So what happens? The first 6 people who are already doing it are now thinking that, oh, I could have done it this way also. Should I do it this way? Should I leave this? And then you see that out of the 4 who are left behind, you will have 2 more who are being able to reach the outcome, but still 2 more are left. And now you will give a third method where you are also giving this particular kind of a thought to the first group, which was able to do it with your first instruction of 6, and the 2 others who could follow with your second instruction that, okay, now what am I supposed to do? So in fact, okay, I'm going to stop sharing the screen because I'm going to talk here now. So in fact, what is happening is informally, we are telling the students that it's okay, even if you do not pay attention to me for the second method and for the third method. Okay, Is that what we want to tell the students, that don't pay attention to me? No, we don't want that, right? What we want is, we want the students to be able to identify what worked for them. And therefore, it is very difficult to immediately do this and maneuver students in reality. And therefore, instruction design becomes very important, because it tells us all sorts of probability. Any maths teacher here, probability is the most wonderful topic that is there right since grade 8. Again, because the mics and the videos are on is a very good thing, because I can actually see that people are multitasking, people are talking on the phone, people are doing something else, and I'm quite sure that CIT is going to make a note of this, because then the other things. So yeah, we are not here as teacher students, but it's all about the what can you say, it's all about your integrity, right? If you're sitting here for a particular session, and yeah, thank you Hijam Radha, because you're the first one to give that beautiful smile and a nod. So those who can afford to have these many instructions can ensure that my class will go ahead with each one reaching the outcome. Now, this requires lot of preparation on the part of the teacher, because I will need to think about all types of probabilities that can happen in my class. And for that, I will need to know my students well. I will need to know my constraints very well. And I will also need to understand that I cannot go to the class and come back saying that, oh, you did not understand. Okay, meet me afterwards, I will explain. Just imagine what happens if you are a student who is not able to do this, and you tell the student, I mean, you are being told, कि, okay, मुझसे बाद में मिलना, class के बाद. Most of the students don't feel it as an exclusivity. They feel it as an exclusion. Somewhere this goes down into the minds that, okay, 9 of my peers could do it, I could not do it. तो मेरे में कुछ प्रॉब्लम है शायद से. So instead of tackling the problem, I focus that I'm the problem and I need teachers' help and I need help always. And therefore, if we have very clear instructional design, that means we will be achieving our learning outcomes that are already there, not just for every grade, but it is there for every single topic. If you have, I'm sure you must have seen the NCERT website and must have downloaded the outcome-based learning wala booklets, where beautiful activities are also given, which are suggestive, so that these activities can enable every student to achieve the learning outcome. The instruction is there, but still, you know your class the best, you know your constraints the best, and based on those particular suggested activities, you will be designing instructions, you will be designing an instructional activity which will allow all your students to achieve the outcome that is desired. With that, if this much is fine, if this difference in the base is fine, let's go ahead. Can I just have emoji there to go ahead, because I can see so many messages. Can we use these instructions to achieve the task how I want it? Can we teach days, AM, PM? Likely, okay. Yes, okay. Thank you for all those thumbs up. And still, again, like I said, this is what happens. I mean, I'm really very sorry. I can't help laughing, because in amongst all these things that are happening about the session right now, there are still a couple of messages who are asking about the attendance list. Okay, now I don't know whose instruction is garbad, because, and I know that this probability is going to happen, so I can't help laughing, you all can't help laughing, and the only thing what we can do is understanding that this probability would be there. we have already spoken to the CIT team not to give attendance sheet before this session gets over. Only in the last 10 minutes or something like that, the attendance sheet should come. Let people be focused only on the learning. Thank you for those lovely smiles, Krishna Chaitanya and Pasula Sai Kiran sir. Lovely smiles, because I can see only a couple of people at one particular time, and that will enable me to understand. So instructional design comes with lots of models. If you ever have to Google models of instructional design, there are multiple models that come through. We are going to take the one which is followed the maximum. Not that I'm very happy with it, because there are new ones, so, and better ones. But yeah, this is something that we are going to talk about, and which is also very easy for the teachers to then apply it to their teaching learning, because this will also enable you to have a lesson plan. So that is why we choose this. Coming from a science background, I cannot help myself but put the DNA there, because the instructional design and the learning based outcomes should be in the DNA of every single teacher, every single educator, no matter which grade and wherever we are teaching. There are 7 new messages again. Okay, again. Sorry, but there is the last message also of attendance sheet. CIT team, please do not give any attendance sheet. Okay, so for the first thing, what do? We are going to analyze lots of things. Now, many people who have, I mean, everyone here has done their teacher training, has done their B.Ed, and mostly their M.Ed as well. And then we will talk, they will say that, yes, of course, we do analyze. We analyze learners' needs. Yes, we do. But what type of learners' needs are analyzed? Are we analyzing it only in the beginning, or are we analyzing learners' needs throughout? Because I might need, my need will vary from topic to topic, day to day, and also during the journey of my learning. So I'm not only supposed to do analysis of my learners' needs, but I'm also supposed to do analysis of the constraints that I have and the constraints that my learner has. And then only I can go ahead with the next step. So this is the most important thing, not just the needs piece, constraints. I'll give you one example to just clarify this. So what happened during the COVID? We analyzed that there is a need for us to conduct classes. Yes, and CIT was working non-stop. NCERT was working like 24/7. Every single day there is material being made, content being made. Why? Because we were aware of the constraint that the teachers might not be able to develop any material which could be passed on to the students. Not every teacher has got a laptop. Not every teacher has got a smartphone. Not every teacher has got a good internet connection. So once the constraints are very, very clear, what becomes easy is to identify a possible probable solution. So possible solution is to go through the internet. Okay, internet everybody doesn't have. Let's go through the TV, because that is what we have been doing since 1970s, since the site experiment started by Vikram Sarabhai with the NASA. It's called as satellite instructional television for education, right? So we have the site experiment right since 1960s and 70s. Can we use it via TV? Yes, we can. So then we have channels of Swayam Prabha, which are beamed via the TV. It can also be accessed by the internet. But when this was also not sufficient, teachers at the local places have gone ahead to what is called as cable operators, and then they have used those cable connections and community leaders to take this ahead. So unless and until you have very clear analysis of not just what the student needs, but the constraints that the student will face and the constraints that you will have, you will not be able to design and develop a proper instructional pathway. There are 4 new messages. Yes, instruction was also done with the video. Yes, and that was not just video, but through also the TV. So this is how the needs and the constraints come into the picture. And only once this is in place and very, very realistic and very, very thorough, we can start designing. So like we said that yes, we'll have to design certain things. कि अच्छा, सारे teachers तो नहीं कर पाएंगे, because every teacher will not have a laptop, every teacher does not know how to record, every teacher does not have a studio. तो फिर क्या करेंगे? तो design ऐसा करो that the same content will be repeated multiple times, and then the teachers will have to only give them activity. So the teachers will have to of course devise activities. ऐसा तो बोल के नहीं चलेगा that video आ गया है देखो. So no, that's not how it can be, because let us all remember and be aware, watching a video is a passive format of media consumption, and learning is basically active. Learning is active in 2 ways, right? It goes inside our own head, that is why it is active, and it also goes across people, across content. The students interact with another student, the student interacts with the teacher, so there is this interaction. That is not passive, but you seeing just a video is passive consumption, and passive consumption cannot lead to learning unless and until there is a component of active learning involved. And that is the work of the teachers, that okay, when will I show the video, when will I give an activity, should I give them an activity first, let them discover something, and then ask them to watch the video. So there are multiple ways in which it can be designed, and this will help us to design the activities which will be very, very clearly outcome based. So if I have a video where someone is teaching us how to do multiplication, my outcome based activity would have, like, I'm just taking the same example, 5 multiplied by 3. My activity would be go around your house and collect 5 articles of the same type and make it combined into 3 stashes, like 3 dals, 3 cereals, 3 vegetables, 3 pens, 3 ballpoint pens, 3 fountain pens, 3 pencils, some writing things. So I am giving them very specific outcome based activity, because of which I will ensure that the video that they have watched, if 5 3s are 15 and 3 5s are 15, they are able to understand that is reached or not. So passive consumption of video is incomplete unless and until we give a very specific outcome based activity which would be designed by you and me in our respective context, considering all the constraints that we have. And that is where we will actually develop. Now I do not know whether I'll stop sharing screen later once we finish this to talk about the production. I'll just give one example. Were we able to give practicals in this particular format? I know that Nehru Science Center in Mumbai actually did this. What they did was they developed kits. So they produced the kits for science during the COVID. And then there were instruction manuals, because it was in line with the outcomes that were there. And you could actually order a kit, and that kit would contain all that required thing for the outcome that is specified, and you could do the practical at home. So you're not having acids, but you're having a pH paper, and you have lots of acids at home. So like lemon, milk, tea, and then that outcome to identify acid, base, what is the pH, all that could be reached. So you will have to produce, that is the development stage, once you have designed the activities which will enable us to achieve the outcome. And then we'll have to implement, of course, because without implementation, all this is hawa mahal, right? Everything in the air. Oh, this ye ho jayega, wo ho jayega. Students will be able to do all of it, but have they? Okay, so put it to action. I do not know whether you all have been doing this, but in higher education, we have to do this, that we write an outcome, and which is according to the objective of the module and the topic and all that. And then we have to actually measure and map whether the outcome is reached or not for every single student and for the entire class. And so if that is not completely attained, so we evaluate ourselves, our own teaching pedagogy, our own style, our own analysis that we did, and write what should be the next step for improvement. And that is, I'm sure you must have seen the booklet of learning outcomes where also it is mentioned. And this, in other words, is nothing but the ADDIE model that we call. So whenever you do instructional design models, the first one that will pop up is the ADDIE model. And then here on the left-hand side, you can see what does ADDIE stand for? Analysis, design, development, implement, evaluate. But what to analyze is on your right-hand side. What to design is on your right-hand side. Please follow the stepwise. You cannot design something without having a proper analysis. It will take some time for you to do analysis, and that's fine. Okay, why do I, you can take the screenshot of this. Like all tourist places have got selfie points, my PowerPoint presentations have got screenshot points. So take screenshot, no problem. Okay, so I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, so if you are not doing the analysis properly and you just start designing activities, it is an unnecessary work and an unnecessary expenditure of your energy, leading to more of frustration. Why? Because I did not consider the constraints and I designed so many things. And then what happened? मेरे implementation में गड़बड़ है. So I'm going to stop the screen share to see the messages also and then to talk. I have a, oh my God, this attendance wala thing, no, seriously. Okay, I thought something interesting would be there in the chat. Okay, so yeah, thanks for that laughter. Because see what happens if we don't do the analysis. People in the, during the COVID, I mean, it's not the fault of the teachers. I'm not saying it is the fault of the teachers. No one is saying that it is the fault of the teachers. My tricks are 1 minute. Let me just complete them. I'll unmute you. It's not the fault of the teachers that during the COVID, it was emergency remote teaching. It's called as emergency remote teaching, where none of us are prepared to handle things in a remote manner. We do not know how to do instruction design. We did not have any idea of the constraints that we or our students would be having. So the only thing that we did was, we started sending things on WhatsApp, right? We started sending activities on WhatsApp. We started conducting Zoom calls, maybe to, to understand that pura timetable karna padega. Okay, all 6 hours the students need to be engaged. Without doing the analysis, is this healthy option? Is this what the policies say? Should one person sit in front of the screen for such a long time? Come on, we had so many policies earlier. So right since, like, if you go on NCERT, NCIT's website, you will see all the policies there. It has always been said that what should be the screen exposure time. And still we were doing that. Why? Because the analysis was thoda gadbad. Okay, the only thing what we were doing was we were only doing design, develop, implement, बना रहे हैं presentation, दे रहे हैं students को, WhatsApp पे भेज रहे हैं, asking them to do this activity, send it, this, that, God knows whatever things that are there, but not considering the constraints. From the city where I come from, that is Mumbai, we had the maximum cases. Even Delhi had maximum cases. Now imagine you are holding a school for a child जिसके घर में शायद डेथ्स हुए हैं, जिसके घर में शायद लोग बीमार हैं. Are we doing this? Is this what the analysis should tell us? We should have put our foot down and said that no, we are going to hold it for some time, right? But intervention had to come from the government only, but we were not very good with the analysis. Yes, Jani sir, my trick Jani. Yes. I have asked you to unmute. Till then, I'll just see what are the messages.
Morning, ma'am.
Yes. Good morning, sir. Boliye.
ADDIE model, that's keeping 5 not in line with 1 to 4? Because
Huh?
you might have put a thought on it. While designing the presentation, the 5, step number 5 is not in line with 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there any specific reason behind it?
Is not in line means in the color and all that.
Alignment.
Ah, yes, of course, because that has to stand out. That has
That
to stand
evaluate
out.
part.
Yes, it's not
To
a,
complete the circle, if I'm not wrong, to complete
no,
the
not
circle.
just to complete the circle, but to bring the circle comes later. But to make it very important to understand that for evaluate, we will have to take a very conscious effort to keep on evaluating at every single step, that are we doing this correct? Do we need this to be reviewed by someone again? Because see, let us get very real. We are all human beings, and it is going to be possible कि मेरे से छूट गया कुछ तो. So if I am putting out the needs and the constraints, should I share it with my colleagues and say कि just have a look at it? इसमें कुछ छूट तो नहीं गया? So evaluation stands out as one part that should not come towards the end, like the ADDIE model suggests, but it should come at every single point. And thank you for being so observant and raising that question. Otherwise, people would have just thought that kuch to alignment mein gadbad hai. No. Every single thing in the slide has got a logic and has
A
got
thought is put on it.
a thought. It is not just alignment ka gadbad. And thank you so much, because now I can see Lisham Roma Devi also smiling away, and Ram Krishna also smiling away.
One more point,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, sure.
As you were discussing about the screen time policy. Now we are learners, we are not teachers, as per you.
Yes.
What about our screen time?
Yeah, we'll be giving you break. Don't worry. We have, that is why the sessions are almost like around 1 hour, 45 minutes, then a 15 minutes break, then this, then get up. And always, I will always insist in all the sessions that I have taken since past so many years, I sit with a bottle of water, and I would want everyone to sit with a bottle of water always. And whenever you get, yeah, yes, and oh yeah, and this is Nishtha bottle, okay? So that always reminds me that this is my ikigai, right? So it's always on my table. So yeah, that's the purpose of life. Otherwise, I mean, that's the purpose of my life for me. But yeah, so whenever you get a break, please, please get up from your place. I make it a point, in fact, in multiple edtech groups that we have, I keep on asking people that did you walk, did you stretch? After, in every single break, please do not lie down. Movement is magic. Get up,
Absolutely.
walk, okay? Go to the no, don't go to the fridge. I'm just saying go to the fridge. I mean, just walk at least that much. Don't open the fridge. You will start putting, I'm just joking. But yeah, at least walk that much. Walk there, have something, have water in between. No need to starve. And please, I mean, I will take this moment because of this very nice kya bolte hain, point that is being raised. Please allow the students also to drink water whenever it is possible in the class as well. Because I mean, right since many years, thank you Pankaj Asthana ji for those claps. Since many years now, there is this thing in my head. It is a very colonial mindset. Ki a 5-year-old who's maybe in grade 1 asks the teacher, Miss, can I drink water? And the teacher says no after 10 minutes or no after the break. Come on, this is my biological necessity to drink water. Is it going to be dependent on someone else? Is this even not cruel? So please, I would really urge the teachers here to please have this thinking that decolonization begins from here, not just in taking up a language or something. And yeah, dictator mentality. I did not want to say that dictator mentality because all teachers love to be in control. So someone had also asked to give the, to share the slides. Yes, of course, the slides are there, but I often switch off the sharing simply so that what happens is it becomes more interactive this way. And then we call something in terms of education technology, or rather in education also we need to know this. There is something called as a visual break. तो कभी slides हैं सामने, कभी नहीं है. You need to break the monotony also. So now once we are now getting into the process of instructional design with the ADDIE model in place, so the first and the foremost thing that we as teachers would need to actually spell out is the objective and the outcome. I'm very sure that everyone is very clear about the objective and the outcome and the difference in it. But just a quick thing, objective is something that you as a teacher go to the class. Outcome is something that the students have when you leave the class as a teacher. So आपने कुछ सोच के आप क्लास के अंदर गए कि आज स्टूडेंट्स को ये आएगा, and if the student is able to do that, we also call it as takeaway in terms of corporate language and other places. That then comes the conceptualization, जहाँ पे design and development पूरा combined. Okay, how am I going to use this? What are the possible things that I can do? Can I actually segregate the groups? Can I have it as a mixed group where people will be in different, having different skills? And then can I give one activity here, one activity there? And the activities could be different. And actually, the students groups will then continue to ask, hey, तुमने क्या किया? I didn't do this. तुम लोग के ग्रुप में ये दिया क्या? Show it. Let me also do that. So that is like how you raise the curiosity that I also want to do what you did. That's the human nature, correct? So we also see that, right? When one said something, then the other will also say that only. So it will be like human nature. You are doing it, I also want to do it. Why? Because you did not allow me to do it. You and I are doing the same thing. Let me see what you are doing, why I will use my brain. So I will just copy what you are doing. So try to conceptualize in a way where the activities given to the groups of students are as different as possible. That will enable them to learn curiously that, okay, my activity was different like this. What is your activity different like this? And then put it on paper, document the design, run it in your mind ki, okay, ye aise chalega kya? Ye ho sakta hai kya? And then only go ahead to develop and cultivate. And this is the cycle. So here at every single place, the evaluate that we saw, now here I have not written as evaluate anywhere, but it is a cycle. This needs to be reviewed. Like I said, if I conceptualize something, if I'm giving 4 activities or 5 activities, something that I have designed, I will give it to all my colleagues and I will say that इसमें कुछ अलग कर सकते हैं क्या? And then please take the feedback very positively कि हाँ यार ये तो मेरी एक्टिविटी सुधर रही है. Document the design, put it up on your website, put it up on your school's website, put your name on it, put your CC by SA license on it. You've done your OER now, so you have created a document, a template in an open education resource format that other teachers can also use. Develop a community, develop the entire resource, develop the entire instruction, cultivate curiosity, and also cultivate a community that does not bring each other down, but a community that helps to better our ideas. So I can see some messages. Let me just check the messages, then we'll go ahead. How can we analyze by taking care students' background? Pupils are coming from different backgrounds. Please explain. Okay, so Wahida ji, in a school, it is much easier to understand because आपके पास ना पूरा documentation होता है. In the college, it is a little bit, in fact, difficult for us to know the backgrounds of the student. But for the school, yes. So if we can have like a Google spreadsheet or a form which the students or the class teacher can fill up, most of the places may this needs to be done where we can also, we are not labeling, we are identifying where we will need to be extra careful in giving an activity. So I'll just give you one example that happened. You know, there were teachers, I was doing teacher training and the teachers wanted to show static electricity to students. Now, because the teacher knew that iske ghar mein बहुत सारी चीजें नहीं है, ये this particular student's background is such that, you know, even to tear a piece of paper or something like that, नहीं कर सकते हम expect at home वाला activities में. So then the teacher actually asked the student मतलब अलग से that at what time पानी कब आता है आपके घर पे. And then can you have the tap, because you know even in a country like ours we know that pani 24 hours nahi hota hai, nal nahi hota hai. So then the teacher had gone ahead and pure class mein nahi hai, because that was an online class. So the teacher actually asked the student by calling up कि पानी कब आता है, क्या आता है. And then the teacher actually designed कि okay घर पे कंघी तो होगा तो कंघी ऐसे ऐसे करो और वो जो नल में से पानी आता है just keep a very small stream, एकदम हल्की सी धार, और बस वो उसको नजदीक लेकर आओ और वो हो जाएगा. And that is how the static electricity you will see working, because that stream of water will actually deviate. So you don't have to have anything else. You just need to be there when the जब पानी आ रहा है नल में से, and that student could get the concept of static electricity working. So that's how the analysis can be done. But for that the teacher really needs to love the job and really needs to be invested. That is what is most important. Thank you, Asthana ji. One example from the textbook. Oh, why will I do from the textbook? You will do now. You are going to do it now, because now I'm going to give you the templates, and I mean, we will be discussing it from the textbook point of view as well. So this is how the template of instructional design looks like. Okay, and this is how we are now going, like, this is where the hands-on comes in. The difference is, normally teaching में क्या होता है? We go to the class, we teach, and then towards the end we take the exam. But here, first we please specify what is the learning outcome. How are we going to assess? अब imagine करो सब बच्चे WhatsApp पे भेज रहे हैं, तो WhatsApp तो भर गया and the mobile also crashed. That's not what you want to have. So how will you be assessing the outcome? Will it be a formative one where you will provide the feedback for them to improve the learning, or you're going to give a grade? Better to have a formative one just now, but please define the learning outcome very specifically first. Then you figure out what assessment, कैसे collect करोगे आप? जब बच्चा test दे रहा है, how are you going to even collect? And only then go towards teaching learning activities. कुछ activities आप class के बाहर भी दे सकते हैं. It could be via LMS, it could be via some web-based tool, your schools, your Google Classroom, whatever. And some activities would need to be in the class, right? So what would that classification be? And this is where the planning the session, and what one of the participants is saying, that please take one example from the textbook. I already gave that example about static electricity. So my learning outcome there, what's supposed to be, the student should understand that when there is static electricity, the objects which are charged or uncharged will be attracted or repelled. You know, you have to have that outcome. Now, how will I assess that? I will assess it via an activity. Will that activity be out of class? Yes, I will want that activity to be out of class. Why? Because science is not only in the lab, science is everywhere. So I want that my students should be able to learn science at their homes as well, and not think कि science तो कुछ हाई फंडा होता है, उसके लिए बहुत लैब चाहिए होता है. नहीं नहीं नहीं, साइंस हर जगह पे होता है, मैथ्स हर जगह पे होता है. So because of that, that is the logic, that is the thought with which my activity is being planned. How am I going to assess becomes the first one. Is the student supposed to tell me that what that student did? Yes, but will the student only tell me ki I just combed my hair with my plastic comb and I took it near the stream of water and I could see the stream deviating. Ho gaya. What is the learning? I will also ask, I will want something more concrete. So I will ask my student, did this happen if the stream was not very, the patla stream nahi hai, if it's more, the water flow is higher, faster, तो होता है क्या? नहीं होता. Try किया, कितनी बार try किया? Okay, what was the distance at which you were standing and वो नल क्या distance पे है? You know, when you ask this, the student understands, oh, the teacher is interested in my learning, not just in that activity that I have done. And then the student will tell you so many things that will actually enhance the activity. Now, this is where the hands-on comes into the picture. You can take the screenshot and I'm sure you can start writing. Let me just see the messages. Which type of textbook concepts are taught by this instructional method? Oh, all the textbooks. In the latest ones that you see in the NCERT also has got the same thing. Did I actually stop the screenshot? Okay. The one that you can see is you always have this bujo to jano, right? You have a person who's coming up with a think and reflect and ask the question. So it's making you to reflect. Then there is something for practice, then there is something for activities, and there are some strategies there. It's all there in the teacher manual as suggested activities. But of course, there are suggested activities which we have to, like, bring it down to our own context. Let me just check in the lesson plan at first. Teaching learning activities after assessment will come. No, yeah, that's the thing. That is what I said, that we normally do first teaching learning and then we test, and therefore the gap. Therefore, everyone does not reach the outcome. If we plan it in this way, writing आप कर लो आपके traditional way से जो भी आपका school का format है. But if you plan it this way कि okay ये मेरा outcome achieve होना चाहिए हर बच्चे का, so these would be the activities, then it becomes more clearer that the outcome achieved by the students will be much higher than you first bringing out the activities and then assessing them and then thinking about the outcomes. That is why we also call it as instructional design is different than teaching, and therefore it is also brought in all these programs now. Madam, whether ID varies from time to time or we can use the same instructional design. Okay. Okay, now this is a very good question. Senthil Kumarji, thank you for bringing this up. It should be flexible enough to be changed for every single moment of instruction, but at the same time it should be what I can say, the skeleton should remain the same. Okay, like for instance, अगर आप सोचते हैं मॉड्यूलर किचन के बारे में, so you have certain racks there where आपका एक डब्बा इधर जाएगा, आपका एक डब्बा उधर जाएगा. There is a rack, right? For इस एक का height इतना है, दूसरे का height कम है, ज़्यादा है. You may change the dabba, but there is a place for dabba and you can always keep on changing and intermixing. So please prepare activities in a modular way. Keep the skeleton, the ढांचा एक ही रखिए आप कि outcome should be this. So instead of, let us say, chalks or pens and pencils, I could ask them to pick up certain things. I'll give you one more example here. So I'm just shutting off the chat so that this becomes bigger. Okay, so I was taking an online summer vacation course for grade 8 students for chemistry, and I wanted to teach them metals and non-metals. So what did I do? Because otherwise I can just, what should I do there, right? So I was very sure that there is going to be an activity. Then I was very sure that, okay, what type of activity? I want them to move around and observe around, right? So what I told them is, we will have a treasure hunt. Go and hunt for aluminum things that are around you and come back in 2 minutes and then bring things and then show, because it was an online summer vacation class. The same thing when I was doing for as an example for a teacher training, I knew that if all of you are sitting here, I cannot make you go up, right? And you will not run and come back also. So not audible. I think I'm quite audible. I'm audible, right? So why is that not audible? Okay. So if
Yes,
I'm going to
Madam.
conduct the same thing for you all, what would I say? I would just say that, okay, look around yourself and आपके टेबल के आसपास, आपके स्टडी टेबल के आसपास एल्यूमिनियम की कितनी चीजें हैं? So bring 3 of them. And now you could be bringing things like stapler ka pin, maybe a combi film ka strip, anything. But that is aluminum, right? And this is how my activity just changed. But my basic skeleton did not change. My skeleton was, I will make people actually observe things and identify things that contain aluminum. And that is what I mean by saying that please keep the outcome very tangible. So I'll just share the screen again so that you can take a screenshot and you can start working on this. And then frame. Okay, ये मोटा मोटा सा लिखिए. It need not be perfect कि यही assessment होगा. But what is more important is how am I going to assess? Like I said, if I'm going to take your cohort and I'm going to conduct this aluminum wala activity, will I ask you to run? No. Then I have changed my activity. But how will you show? How did the students show? The students were so excited. They are all 8th standard kids. They ran around everywhere in the house and they got all sorts of things. Literally, मतलब एक जन तो पर्दे का रॉड भी लेकर आया. And the other one is like पूरा लैपटॉप घुमा के दिखा रहा है, खिड़की है, ये है, वो है. Okay. How will I tell you? How will I assess whether you have achieved the learning outcome or not? Imagine that emoji wala thing. What did we do? I told you to write. I did not ask you. But if I were to conduct this aluminum activity, then I will tell you to just write what is across you and show one thing, not all the things. अब बच्चे तो पूरा 12 हैंगर का सेट लेकर आए थे, कपड़े का हैंगर, अल्यूमिनियम का हैंगर है, ये है, वो है. So many things, right? Bhartan. So many students have got it. But how will I assess? How will I know that you have gone? I should be able to see that you're getting up, you're going, bringing back. There was so much of chaos. So I had told them that koi mic band nahi karega. So that I could hear them asking, "Arey, Mama, ye aluminium nahi hai. This is steel. Give me this." Okay, I'm actually assessing whether they are able to identify or not. And then we go ahead with what are the properties? What made you think that this is of aluminum and not of zinc and so many other things? So that's how we actually do it. I hope I answered your question. And 12 new messages. Okay. Yeah, name some aluminum things around you and the features about that. Yeah, you can just write. Correct. So it depends upon people. It depends upon the cohort that you have in front of you. But this is how the instructional design would go. You can make it into blended, flipped, or hybrid. There are these templates on the website that I have already put up, but please start doing this. And once one person is ready, you can just raise your hand. This is actually going to be the assignment, I think, that you will be submitting as well. But just for the sake of discussion, can one of you just say it? It's okay to be wrong. It's going to be very raw just now. Yes, Kasa Vijaya. Yes, your hand is raised. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Oh, I do have to unmute you, right? Yeah. Yes. Vijaya?
Rightly pronounced, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So, yeah, go ahead. Go on. Your hand was raised. So, why are you on mute again? Okay. Anyone who can actually come up with this in a jiffy is welcome. Have you all taken the screenshot so that I can stop the screen share and I can see more people? That's all. Yes, Vishalji, go ahead. I have asked you to unmute, and then once Vishalji finishes, we can go to Sri Shaila. Okay.
Am I audible? Okay.
Yes, yes.
What I have done, I have done the lesson plan for class 11 physics as per the given instructions. So learning outcome will be after this session, students will be able to define work, kinetic energy, and the potential energy. Okay. State the work energy theorem, like derive the expressions for the kinetic energy. Assessment, the formative will be like a think, pair, share. Students will individually think about the definition of work, then pain up to discuss and refine their answers. Finally, a few peers will share their combined definitions with the class, like that. And like exit ticket, at the end of the class, students will answer one or two short questions, such as what is the key difference between work and power, and or explain in own words what like work energy theorem states. This help them gauge their comprehension of the main points. Then
Okay.
then
Yeah, that's nice. Just a minute. I'll just stop you in between just to give a few suggestions for correction and for betterment. The think, pair, share is the activity. It cannot be a formative assessment. The TPS is the teaching learning activity. So your formative would be their discussion would be formative, that you are going to observe and note down. Now, how will you actually assess whether that discussion is going on well ahead? That would be a rubric that you will need to actually develop, and
Right,
then you
ma'am.
will say that okay, this team ne ye kar diya, theek hai, inka outcome achieve ho gaya. Also, one more suggestion to you is though I do understand that it is 11th standard physics and all, but and it's quite tough for the students, but can you just raise the Bloom's taxonomy level? Don't ask them to define it. Maybe you can start from giving them a puzzle. A formative assessment, in fact, could be a puzzle. It could be a jumbled words, or it could be the definition which has got some missing words, or it could be the definition where you have given it in words which are not as per the standard definition, and they have to now, convert it, or they have to identify the missing word, something like that. That would be more full of fun for them because it is formative.
Like creative or analyzing.
Yes, उतना भी जाने का जरूरत नहीं है, अप्लाई पे रहेंगे तो भी ठीक है, but just bring it above understanding. Okay, Shri Shailam ji, we can have yours, and then we
Sorry
can
to
go to
interrupt.
Vijay. Yeah, it's time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry to interrupt. Actually, the time is over.
Yeah.
You can take one or two more queries, or we can take them in the group also. So as
We'll just
your
take up
wish.
Shri Shailam's
Okay.
this, and then we'll stop. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am.
Yes. Good morning.
So
Go ahead.
your explanation is awesome, and almost you explained the philosophy behind the learning outcomes. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
So explanation is awesome, and here to achieve the learning outcomes, one must be passionate about teaching.
Sir, are you actually telling us about the way in which you have done the template?
I'm not here. One thing, ma'am, already explained, and whatever the philosophy or ideology.
Okay, it's just a feedback. Okay, then
Yeah,
I think,
feedback.
yeah, Nidhi, then I think we can actually.
There is nothing.
Yeah, thank you for your kind words, and then Nidhi, I think we can call it a day, and maybe everyone can submit this as their assignment. That would be better.
So thank you so much, Ajita ma'am, for giving us this detailed presentation. And I really hope that all the participants must got benefited. And they are asking so many questions, and you have very well explained, very well answered them.